We all know that low birth rate is going on in the country and as well around the world. Well, that's going to also impact the number of twins that are in the world. Now, at one time, I knew several families that had twins, including my own. And it was much more common to see it years ago than now. So, just like we are seeing changes in the birth rates, there's also changes in the amount of twins born now, which makes sense, would go hand in hand with low birth rates. So, twins birth rate at lowest level in a decade. And doctor says that's a good thing. So they said about a year ago 124,000 twins were born. Fewer US families are seeing double, according to a government report that finds a drop in new twins. Twin births steadily increase for more than 3 decades, driven largely by older white moms undergoing fertility treatments. But the rate of births, twin births, apparently peaked in 2014 and has fallen 4% since. Last year, the rate hit its lowest point in a decade. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention reported Thursday. The drop is modest, but health officials say it's good news. Pregnancy with more than one rises the risk of complication and death for both the mother and her fetuses. Complications include premature birth and a low birth weight. In the media, there are often stories about very cute twins and talking about how great to have two babies at the same time, said the CDC, Dmitry Kisin. But these stories don't focus on the risk. Last year, about 124,000 babies were twins, about one of every 31 births, the same as a decade earlier. The rate peaked at 1 in 29 in 2014. And they said from 2014 on, it's been dropping consistently. The CDC didn't release figures on triplets or other multiple births, but said data suggests it's trending the same way. I don't know why triplets or anything like that would be on the increase with low birth rate. I bet that, it's a decline in probably all of those multiple births at this point in time. Why the decline, experts can't say for sure, but Joyce Martin, the report's lead author, noted the decrease occurred only in white women and in women 30 or older. Those women are the biggest customers of expensive in vitro fertilization treatments. Yes, that's true. That's true. You know, there are some black women that go for that stuff, but not a lot. The vast majority of the in vitro treatments are white women getting them, which are roughly 15% of multiple births. And there's been a shift in how the technique is done. In vitro fertilization provides surgically removing eggs from a woman's ovaries, combining them with sperm in a laboratory, and transferring the days old embryo to a woman's uterus. More than a decade ago, it was standard to implant two or more embryos to improve the chances of success. But that also greatly increased the odds of more than one baby. Since then, there have been advances in growing embryos longer in the lab and testing them for genetic problems. That's allowed doctors to select the best single embryo to use, said Dr. Aaron Steyer. an infertility treatment specialist in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. The success rate for one embryo rose from about 20% in the 1980s to around 50% today, he said. Meanwhile, insurers and medical organizations increasingly have been pushing doctors to transfer single embryos more often. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not surprised about this. I'm not surprised there's less twins going on in the world. And as time goes on, we're going to see everything come to a halt. I really believe that. I think the low birth rate is a clear indicator that everything eventually is going to come to a screeching halt. And you're going to see, it's probably going to be an oddity to see even a pregnant woman. And even today, I'm telling y'all, I don't see many. I don't see many. Now, recently, and it's only because I've been taking my son back and forth to the doctors over the last few weeks. He's had several appointments, and I saw pregnant women there, and they were all black women. Every last one of them were black women. Um, and that was probably the first time in a few months I saw a pregnant woman walking around. You know, most of the summer I didn't see hardly any. So, that being said, you know, it's a rarity for me to even run into them like before. Back when I was carrying my son, I saw pregnant women everywhere. I saw them all over the place. But now it's definitely a huge difference. And maybe it depends on what part of the country you live in, too. You may live somewhere where you see a lot of pregnancies, but where I am, very few. Very few. But please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.